Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. And as we get started, first thing I want to do is congratulate Scott Perry for putting together what I thought was a great process in terms of how we wanted to approach getting to where we are today. About 2 or 3 weeks before training camp started last year, we got together. Scott brought all the scouts in. We laid out how we wanted to approach getting to this day. We talked about how we wanted to cover the country, how we wanted our international scouting to look, what we expected of all the scouts, how we wanted to get together and process information. And I think he did a really good job that put us in a position that, while we had a lot of debates leading the week before the draft, the night before the draft, we knew exactly where we wanted to be. And the only thing that could change whether or not these two guys were here was what happened ahead of us. We knew that we wanted Kevin at the 9th pick. We had spent a lot of time with him. We spoke to the coaches down at Kentucky. We watched him throughout the course of his career and spent time with him and understand there was something special, not only about his basketball abilities, the length, the athleticism, his ability to play the game where we think Coach Fizdale wants to coach and the way we think the current NBA is going. But there's also a competitiveness inside this kid that doesn't show up all the time in his demeanor. We sat and talked to him and listened to how he interacted with 5 other players through dinner and different conversations. And there's a competitive sense in him that we knew was the right fit for us here in New York. And so that's when we decided that he was the guy that we wanted to go with. And Scott and I have a mutual friendship with an agent, Raymond Brothers, who happens to represent Mitchell Robinson. And we've been talking about Mitchell as a guy that we would be really lucky if he made it to 36. We flew Mitchell in, spent a day with him, getting to know him a little bit, talking through dinner, talking about his journey, what was important to him, what was challenging to him. But we knew just athletically, his commitment to being a great basketball player, his desire to grow as a person and a player, he was somebody special. And we were really excited that he was still there at 36. So we're really excited to have these 2 young men to join the other young guys that we have. But we think they're very complementary to the youth and the athleticism and the length and what we're trying to do in terms of turning the Knicks back into a great basketball team.
Yeah, first I'd like to start off by thanking Steve Mills for entrusting in me and giving me the opportunity to be here as the general manager of the Knicks. It's been a great opportunity, a great first year working alongside of him and the entire basketball staff that we've assembled here. None of this is not possible if it wasn't for a very collaborative effort from every one of our scouts to everyone else in our front office, support staff. We talk a lot about the collaboration in our office and that everyone's role is extremely important. And it really manifested itself throughout this season and throughout our draft process that ultimately ended up into these 2 fine prospects up here. To comment a little bit about Kevin first, in terms of his game, there were many attractions for us as we watched this young man play. We had been watching him since high school, really, and he had a very solid first year at the University of Kentucky. He represents a lot what we want to be about and how we want to play the game. He has great length, athleticism. He can score the basketball. He's a multi-positional player. And we think his upside, his ability to grow as a player in this league is tremendous. And in Mitchell, watched him in all of the high school events a year ago, and he was a standout. Most athletic big, really in the class, we felt. The fact that he was still able to be there at 36, we were excited about this. We're excited about his upside potential. Again, another long athletic player. We talked about our need as a basketball team to get much more athletic because we're going to want to play with a lot more pace and we want to be aggressive defensively and these guys have the physical attributes to do that. And the final thing I want to comment about is we talked from the very beginning about our strong development culture here. And that obviously was one of the main reasons that led us to hiring Coach Fizdale and the staff that he's assembled. We have tremendous confidence in them and their ability to be able to develop these young men, not only as players, but as help develop them as young men too, as they grow in this league. And so we're really excited about that. I know everyone's ready to get to work as soon as these cameras stop flashing here today with the press conference. So again, excited, and again, want to thank the entire Knicks organization for helping make this happen here tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Now we're going to open up the floor for questions from the media. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. Microphone will be brought over. Just please state your name and affiliation. Thank you.
Alain Anazone from Newsday. You guys, what are your expectations as rookies? How do you think you're going to fit in? You know, you're young, but I'm sure you can't wait to get started. What do you think you'll be like your first year?
Yeah, personally, I mean, I'm just ready to get to work. I mean, I think me and Mitchell, we fit really well in the way Coach Fizdale really wants to coach and wants to play. I think we'll fit really well with the rest of the players and young guys, and we'll learn so much from them. Learn a lot from some of the veterans on the team. And I think throughout the whole season, I think we're just going to keep getting better as a team and as players. And I think as the season goes on, we're just going to gel pretty well as a team.
To kind of follow up on what Kevin said, yeah, so we fit in with the team, you know, to get hard, work hard every day, and get better as a group.
Hi, Mitchell. Mark Berman, New York Post. Could you just explain kind of the journey of you attending a couple of colleges but never playing, and then, you know, deciding to drop out, and why those decisions were made?
Well, the decision was made because I felt like I should just focus on basketball to get to me to where I want to be for my career, and then, you know, just pushing forward.
What did you do specifically to train? Were you able to play in any games while you were training, or how did that go?
No, I didn't really play like no pickup games. I did straight workout every day, like from 9 to 5, every day, all day.
You know, one of the things to add, you know, the guy spent, again, a lot of time. He had, you know, we're very familiar with who was training him at the time, and the former player that he worked closely with, I know. And the young man is dedicated to the game, and we really, we know he wants this. You know, it's a decision he made, a conscious decision he made to go ahead and go about it that path. I don't think he's the first guy to do that. And you know, obviously he ended up here today, and I think he's ready to get to work for us.
Ian Begley, ESPN. Kevin, for you, there's a lot of talk about your positional versatility, both ends of the court. Where do you feel comfortable on offense? Which positions, and which positions do you feel comfortable defending?
I mean, I think, like you said, I can play pretty much any position on the floor. But I mean, with the league going where it's going today, I mean, you see a lot of guys, the wings, playing the four. You see playing the three, their natural position. So, I mean, those two positions are kind of where I see myself, being able to be everywhere on the floor, and on the ball, be able to be off the ball, be able to shoot the ball. So, I mean, I just think, like you said, I can pretty much play anywhere on the floor.
Thanks. Kyle Maggio, the Knicks Wall. Kevin, just for you, what aspect of your game do you want to improve the most heading into the league next year? What weakness do you think you could develop the most?
I mean, this whole summer, I've been working on ball handling, being more consistent, and pretty much working on my defense. In my agency, we have a lot of great NBA guys, so going one-on-one against them the whole summer means just being able to compete against them, be able to go against them every day is good for me. Work on my defense, work on my game. So, and then also I've been working on a lot of my ball handling, pick and roll situations, be able to make plays out of it, make the right reads, make the right passes. So, just some of the things I've been working on this whole summer.
Hi, my name is Michaela with Garden of Dreams, and this is for you, Kevin. What excites you the most about playing in the New York Knicks?
I think the thing that excites me the most is probably Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's the mecca of basketball. So, I mean, it's the biggest stage in the NBA. A lot of celebrities come to Madison Square Garden to watch us play. So I just feel like the bright lights, the big stage, is something I'm really looking forward to playing on.
Hey, Mitchell, Adam Zagoria from SMY. I think the last time a lot of people saw you was the Jordan game here in New York a couple years ago, where you played really well. How do you see yourself fitting into the modern NBA with, mobile 7-footers who can spread the floor and shoot? Do you think that's kind of suited to your game?
Well, I mean, I run the floor pretty good. I block shots, and I can almost fit in with them. I feel like I can fit in with any team.
Kevin, what do you know about Kristaps Porzingis, and what do you think about playing with him? How you'll complement him? Things
Yeah,
like that.
actually, last night Porzingis actually gave me a phone call. He called me on FaceTime. It's pretty good. He's in Real Madrid right now. So it was good to talk to him last night, be able to got some tips from him, asked me how I was doing and stuff like that. So he's out there training right now. But it was good to talk to him. I think me and him would do really well together alongside some of the other guys. And Porzingis is a big guy who really can stretch the floor, shoot the ball, and go down low. So I think me and some of the other guys will complement each other very well.
Hey, Kevin. Kenny Ducey from Sports Illustrated. How do you think that the draft process has helped you grow just as a person over the last few months in terms of working out, doing media, going through this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helped me out a lot. I mean, you see a lot of top guys in the top 10 lottery do solo workouts, but I decided at the beginning I wanted to do group workouts. I wanted to compete. I wanted to go at people. I just wanted to show people what I really been working on. So that's kind of the mentality I had going into summer. To kind of do group workouts, be able to play one-on-one, two-on-two, and stuff like that. And I think that kind of helped my stock and helped me as a player and as a person. So I just think this whole process, going to different teams, learning from different front offices and different coaches, it kind of helped me out a lot this summer.
And that's one of the things I want to commend Kevin and his group on, is that while we don't place a tremendous amount of our decision-making on what happens in a workout, but we do look at it from a competitive standpoint. The fact that he chose to come and do a 3-on-3, a 6-person workout, said something about what he was willing to do in terms of compete and be a competitor. So I give him credit, and that's something that stood out to us.
Hey, Kevin, Yaron Weitzman, Bleacher Report. When you spoke to Kristaps last night, did you guys talk about booing fans at all?
We did talk about it. He asked me how the fans react, and I told him I got the same amount of dudes as you got. So it was fun. He just laughed, and he said, it's all motivation, it's fuel to the fire, and he said, just work. And he said, sooner or later they'll be cheering for you.
Hey, Mitchell, Stephen Bondi with the New York Daily News. Seeing as you haven't played in it competitively for a year, where's your game at right now, and how important then is summer league and training camp and all that for you right now?
Well, since I didn't play a whole year, I just stayed training. So, I mean, my game has improved. I just ready to show it out on the court.
And I would add, obviously summer league will be big, and the whole getting acclimated to the NBA game. I think this summer will be big for him, and training camp. And I know Coach will probably talk a lot about that later. That's more his department, but big opportunity for both young men actually. It'll be their first taste when they go out to Las Vegas for what the NBA is a little bit alike.
Kevin, Steve Popper from the Bergen Record. You've been on a big stage at Kentucky and now what you're facing here, but how much, when they talk about development, how much patience do you have for that, for taking the time to slowly build yourself into what you want to be?
I mean, yeah, I know as young as I am, I know I got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to be very patient. I'm going to get to a lot of coaches, a lot of player development coaches, and just work on my game each and every day. I know there's a lot of different parts of my game that I really can get better at, so I'm just make sure that I keep working every day. Like I said, I'm very young. I got a lot of years to play. My body's still young, so I'm just going to make sure I stay in the gym and just stay with the coaches and improve my game every day.
My name is Michaela from Garden of Dreams, and this is for you, Kevin. What basketball player inspired you the most?
Growing up, I kind of watched Kevin Durant all the time. I've been a fan of him ever since he was in Seattle Sonics. So I've been a fan of him ever since he's been in college at Texas. So that's kind of been my guy growing up. I've been able to watch film on him, watch him play in all the finals and all the games. So that's kind of what I like to watch. But I mean, now I'm in the NBA. It's kind of competitive now. So I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing against him.
This is for Scott and Steve. Just free agency coming up. I mean, what's the strategy and the plan? And do you feel that you'll have the mid-level exception, or do you think maybe you'll have more than that, depending on Ennis?
I probably would prefer to talk more about that on another venue and just really focus here on these guys here today on the draft. But we're not going to be highly active people in the summer as it is, but we'll get into more detail with you as it gets closer to that.
Kevin, Chris Eisman from the Bergen Record. Over the course of your year at Kentucky, what is the area of your game that you feel like you grew the most in and maybe grew the most comfortable in and developed over that course of that year?
I think something that helped me a lot was just learning how to play off the ball. I mean, growing up in high school, elementary, I mean, I've been ball dominant, but it's an aspect of your game that you got to learn how to play. I mean, in the NBA, you're not going to have the ball in your hands 24/7, so I think at Kentucky, in my roles, you could say it's pretty much to play off the ball. I'll be able to make plays off the catch. And I think that kind of helped me as far as I get to the NBA, because like I said, the ball won't be in your hands 24/7.
Kevin, Fred Kerber from the New York Post. I know you addressed this last night and you said that you used it as motivation, but when you heard those boos originally, I mean, what was your real initial reaction? Were you annoyed? I mean, I'm assuming you didn't get booed at Kentucky, but I mean, what was that like?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to cry about it. I mean, the only thing that was going through my head was I got drafted to the New York Knicks, and how happy I am for myself and my family. I wasn't really paying attention to no boos or nothing like that, but I mean, it's fun to see all that. Like I said, motivation is fuel to the fire. I love seeing stuff like that, and it just motivates me to get in the gym more.
Hey, Kevin, you shot 34% from three at Kentucky. Here the line moves back. How much can that improve? And do you see yourself a real three-point threat in the NBA?
Oh, yeah, that'll improve a lot. I mean, that's something I really worked on this summer. I know the line got a little bit deeper, so, it's a little bit different type of shot. But that's something I worked on all summer. That's something I'm prepared for. Continue to keep working on it. But I think it shouldn't be a factor for me.
Brian Mahoney, Associated Press. Steve, as far as adjustment time to the NBA game, last year, Frank was picked about the same time, but coming from Europe, and I imagine that's kind of an adjustment with Kevin coming from, an SEC school. Do you expect it to be quicker or about the same type of learning curve?
Well, that actually is going to be up to Kevin, how long, what the learning curve is and how long the adjustment takes. But what I will say is that, while all college basketball programs prepare guys to play in the NBA, the sort of pressure and the limelight and the spotlight you're under when you make a decision to play at Kentucky, I think does prepare you in a different way to play in a place like New York. So I think some of the things that are tougher for rookies to make adjustments to are some things that he's already been through. So I think, the timetable will be, how hard he pushes himself and how far he advances, but we have big expectations for him.
Kevin, just one last question. I think someone asked about Kevin Durant already, but what's another forward or a couple of forwards or players you're looking to match up against? I know you're talking about maybe playing different positions, the 3 or the 4, so could be a lot of people, but who do you think?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I watch, like I said, Kevin Durant, Paul George, and Giannis. I mean, those 3 guys is kind of who I watch a lot of film on. I love to watch their games, how they move off the ball, defend guys in the post. I mean, I just watched every aspect of the game. And now I'm in the NBA, it's a little bit different. I'm really looking forward to going against them, learning from them, competing against them. I mean, I know I'm a rookie, but they're not going to give me no mercy. So I'm going to have to go out there and have to compete. I'm going to have to play really hard because, like I said, I'm a rookie, but they're going to try and go at me.
Hey, Kevin, I heard you're a big Fortnite guy. How much time would you say you spend on it? And what is the one NBA player that you would want to play in Fortnite?
I mean, yeah, I play a lot of Fortnite. I mean, when I'm not in the gym or not working out or something like that, I mean, just free time is what I like to do. I mean, I like to play with my friends, play with my brothers. It's just something that just kind of relaxes my mind. But I mean, an NBA player I like to play with is Paul George. I mean, he was at the Fortnite Pro-Am, so I don't know if you guys know that, but that's where all the Fortnite players come together. But that's where he was, and he's a big Fortnite guy, so it'd be nice to play with him.
Any other questions?
Hey, Kevin, being a starter, is that a goal for you this season? How badly do you want it?
That should be a goal for every rookie, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, I'm going to work my way all the way up. I mean, there's nothing guaranteed in this league. I mean, there's going to be guys that's going to be fighting every day to get the same spot I'm working for. I know it's not going to be easy, and I'm going to work really hard every day in practice, so I have to compete for that starting role.
Kevin, it was mentioned last night and today how well you potentially could fit in David Fizdale's system. What specifically about that system do you think can bring out your best?
Yeah, man. He just loves to play pretty much everywhere. I mean, he loves guys like me that really can pretty much play any position on the floor. He loves guys that can really space the floor, shoot the ball, get to the basket, make the right reads, make the right passes, and I kind of fit that mold. So, I mean, I think Coach Fizdale, he's going to make me a better player and a better person throughout the whole season. I think I'm going to grow so much, learning from him and some of the other guys, and I think I'm going to soak it all in and be able to get better as a person, as a player.
For Scott and Steve, just with Mitchell, I mean, being that he didn't play college and sort of coming out of high school, do you expect a lot of G League time for him next year, or do you feel he'll just be on the roster and play?
I think a lot of that's going to be determined by how Mitchell progresses over the summer, through working out with the coaching staff and through summer league and how he looks in training camp. I think he's going to dictate that in terms, and Coach Fizdale will have the final say with that. If there's enough time for him playing with the Knicks, then he'll be playing with the Knicks. If he needs a little time to play in the G League, that will be an option. But that's nothing I can answer right now definitively, because that has to play out based on how he performs and how quickly he picks up on things. So, all those options are on the table.
But Mark, one of the things that made us so comfortable about taking Mitchell is that we believe in our coaching staff and we believe in our developmental process. And we know we have a situation that can help embrace him, find ways for him to grow off the court and on the court, but grow as a player. We know we have a group of coaches and an environment around him that's going to give him the support and the room to succeed, even though he didn't spend last season playing basketball, spent the last season working out and getting his game better. But we know we have an environment that will help him grow.
Steve, you just mentioned the development piece. How much of that confidence is from the people that were added to the staff? And are there other elements that are new that gives you that confidence about the player development in your organization?
I think it's the totality of the group that we have. I mean, we have put certain things in place as Scott came on board and we added other people, but we knew when we hired David as part of the interview process that development was important to him. We talked about the kind of coaches that he was going to bring in and what the process was going to be in getting our players better. So bringing all those things together, and then as the coaching staff has come together and watching the way they're already working with our players every day out here on the court gives us a lot of confidence in terms of where we're going to be going.
And I would add too, as we went through the draft process and when we hired David, in the evaluating prospects, the knowledge that we have of his background of being able to develop young people was really big too, as we continued to go through our process of the draft and decided who we wanted to select, and just having that confidence that you got a coach and his staff that are not only willing but very able to get the most out of young players because they have a history of that in their past. So we're excited about that for these guys and for us.